There's a moment when you realize you've been taking care of everyone and everything except yourself. You don't notice it in some dramatic, theatrical way. It happens when you least expect. Somewhere between gathering the dirty linen and giving it a fresh start. You move through your days being supportive, responsible, dependable. You do what's expected. You take care of what matters. The family, the home, the garden. And from the outside, you look fine, maybe even calm. But you feel like you're spinning out of balance within yourself. It's not because you're lost, and it's not because you're broken. It's just you haven't stepped into yourself yet. You feel it during the day. When you don't even see yourself. You're unable to recognize who you are anymore. Because somewhere along the way, you stop showing up for yourself. You learned you had to make yourself invisible to be useful for others. But today you pause and ask, what do I need? It's an important question to ask, but one you're unlikely to receive an immediate answer. So maybe the point of asking is to reveal to you the seed you have within yourself that you've been carrying for a very long time and that now needs your attention. Not after you do more for your family, not after you clean up the whole house, not after the garden work is all done. You're meant to respond in the middle of it all. And when you do respond, the sunlight begins to shine. From someone. The person you usually ignore, the feeling you quietly suppress, the thought you quickly reject. So instead of leaving the clean linen in the washer, you take it outside to breathe in the fresh air and feel the warmth of the sun. And during that time, you bloom. You begin to understand you were never meant to be late. You were always meant to be early. Not to be unseen and forgotten, but to be seen and remembered. Take the time to care for yourself as you move through the day. Allow yourself to warmly feel and express. Allow yourself to warmly think and speak. Self-love isn't a reward you receive after you're done doing everything else. It's the care you offer yourself on your way back to you. The difference between the past you and the present you. The present you pours from a full vessel. So today, your focus shifts to your body, to your heart, to your mind. You made the choice to choose you. And when you look at yourself, you can see your warm smile because you allow love in where you didn't before. And as you continue to bloom in the warmth of the sun, you begin to feel like yourself again. Not the old version of you who was trying but going about it all wrong. But the new version of you who chooses to be yourself for a change. And that is when the real you begins to live. Not because of easy fixes, and not because of hard to achieve perfection. Your fresh start is because of one meaningful consideration: to include yourself in your own love story. And moving forward, your life will improve for the better. Because you are the love you always needed. Self-love is a need you carry within you. It is a dormant seed waiting to bloom you in the warmth of the sun. Father went to Elisabeth as he heard much crying coming from her heart. He saw that her tears of sadness were genuine. And there was a general consensus in the church that a misfortune had befallen her, which he would counteract with good fortune. Elisabeth understood little of this during those 3 weeks at the nearby church, for she barely read the Bible and rarely left her home, where she quietly sat with her sorrow and pain. Yet Father wanted to help her, and in turn he was able to help her poor deceased brother, who is now living peacefully in heaven. At the beginning of the new spring day, after Elisabeth had become more knowledgeable about her Heavenly Father and the high expectation that He has for His children, love became a very important part of her life. And when Father heard her crying this time, he said, "My daughter, why are you crying?" Elisabeth said, "Please tell my brother, Mother and I love and miss him." "I'll go tell him this morning," Father said. "It would be good for your brother to hear from his mother and sister, to know that you both remember him." That morning Father went, as he had promised, to see Elisabeth's brother. He was sitting in the garden of his new home. Father and son spoke warmly to each other. "Your mother and sister say they love and miss you," said Father. "It is good that they remember you." Elisabeth's brother leaped for joy to hear from his mother and sister, and he said, "Please tell them I love and miss them too, and that we will all see each other again." "Oh, Father," said Elisabeth in a warm tone, "it is good to hear from my brother and to know that he remembers his mother and sister on earth."